Welcome to the Aging Answers podcast. I'm Rob Faubion from Age of Central Texas. We are a regional nonprofit organization that tackles the challenges of aging with expert solutions. Joining us again is our expert, Casey Lawrence. And Casey, today let's talk about clinical trials. We read a lot about them in a lot of publications. We see offers to be a part of them. And caregivers are often asking us, as are senior adults, what is a clinical trial? Is this something I should do? What is the implications of it? So let's talk about clinical trials. Let's start just with the basics. What is a clinical trial?
Great question. So a clinical trial is basically a research study done by scientists or doctors to try and figure out what is the best way to prevent, treat, or cure a disease. And there's lots of different types of clinical trials. So there's the one that most people think of, which is trying out new medication. That's a treatment clinical trial.
Right. A lot of people say, oh, I don't want to do a clinical trial because I don't want to take any more medication.
Yes, which I can certainly understand. But it's important to know there's lots of other types of clinical trials out there. There's diagnostic clinical trials, which focus on the best ways to detect disease. Prevention clinical trials, which really focus on what are the risk factors that contribute to disease and how can we prevent disease from even starting, as well as quality of life studies. So what can we do, for example, in the case of dementia, when we don't have a cure, in the meantime, how can we improve the quality of life of both people living with dementia as well as their care partners?
Okay, so I will find a clinical trial that would match with me. What are some of the benefits of actually doing this trial? What's in it for me?
That's a great question. So I think a huge benefit is just being able to say, I contributed to the body of science. I contributed to the body of research. I'm taking whatever situation I'm in, whatever is going on in my life, and I'm able to give back. I'm able to potentially help my children or my grandchildren, depending on your case, in terms of helping them lead healthier lives. I would also add that recruiting and finding people for clinical trials, next to funding, is the biggest obstacle to finding a cure for dementia, and that's really important to know. I would also say that regardless of the outcome of the clinical trial, so even if it doesn't work out the way the scientists hoped, it's still very beneficial. So that's those all things.
You know, sometimes you have to take 2 steps back to take 3 steps forward.
Exactly.
And so that's fantastic. So I'll get some benefits out of it, but obviously, you know, we're talking about something medical here. So what are some of the risks that are involved?
Right, there are definitely risks involved, and if you're considering clinical trials, I would definitely recommend that you talk to your doctor first, make sure it's something that could be right for you. If it is a treatment clinical trial, there could possibly be side effects to the treatment that you're undergoing. It's possible that the treatment could not be effective. Because of course we're trying out something new, so we don't know if it could be effective or not.
Okay, so basically we want to always check with our doctor before we sign up for anything like that, and to talk honestly about weighing the risks of participating. But if we are participating, then we are helping move science forward. We're learning more about the disease or the issues that we have, and we're helping out a lot of other folks as well.
Absolutely.
Anything else we need to know about clinical trials?
I would just say there's a lot of information out there on the internet for you to look at. There's places that you can go and register and add your health information. Of course, after talking to your doctor to find out what trials could be matched for you now as well as in the future. So go look for those as well.
Fantastic. Thank you, Casey. Thank you for joining us for this Aging Answers podcast. If you have a question you would like one of our experts to answer, send us an email. All of our information is listed below. And don't forget, we have many other podcasts that you can review. And until next time, thank you for joining us.